Hello, everyone. Welcome back. To our part two of our lamb burgers that we're making. Burgers with lamb instead of ground beef. So yeah, it's gonna be really great. I was very excited. Sorry, I didn't show my head in the first video, but it was just a little bit of a process. Getting these burgers, situated and everything. So and yeah, I was just thinking about the tahini sauce. I thought that was gonna be a little bit of a process, but so I tried it already, but apparently you don't really need too much heat on it, and it really doesn't take long for your sesame seeds to get a golden crisp on them. Golden crisp on them. I feel like I burned too many of them, and I have what's left, so we're gonna try to attempt it again. So I threw the first batch away. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it on low heat, and then we're gonna go from there. There we go. All right. So we're gonna start with our tahini sauce, and we're just gonna give it a few to get these sesame seeds to get a good crisp and a good cook on them. We want them golden brown. We don't want them burnt. A lot of the last batch I tried to make was black. So yeah, I mean, the heat was a little too high, and it didn't really take long. So it really doesn't take long for a good heat to get on these. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, for our tahini sauce, for those of you who don't know what it is, again, so you just take a bunch of sesame seeds, toast them up, and then after they're good, have a good golden brown on them, which doesn't take long. I've learned that already. You take it and then you put it in a blender or a processor or mash them up in the way you want. It's probably, I'm actually going to use a bowl to mash them up, which probably isn't the traditional right way to do it, but I really just don't feel like using my food processor because it just makes so much of a mess. I have a blender that works really well, but I don't have it with me because it's in storage. I just moved in where I'm at, so yeah, I just don't feel like going to get it. But anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna get it. We're gonna turn the heat up a little bit. We got a low heat going on, so we're just gonna go from there, and we're gonna turn it up just a little bit. So we just want a little golden crisp on these. That's it. We don't want them to overcook. We don't want them black and burnt. Like I said, the first batch I tried, was overcooked, so I had to throw it away. So I'm just using what's left of my sesame seeds. So yeah, we're not gonna get too much of a sauce out of this, but yeah, we're gonna get what we get. So yeah, we're gonna do what we have. Turn the heat up a little bit more. So yeah, I'm just going on. We're just gonna see where this goes. Yeah. And this is our tahini sauce, which we're going to be using for our burgers here in a few. Hello, how you doing, Laura? Laura, am I saying that right? How you doing? Am I reading that right? I'm sorry. Oh, it's going great. I'm cooking a great recipe. I have some. I'm supposed to go to a picnic later on, so yeah, I have a lot to be excited about. So yeah, my day's going all right. I am making lamb burgers. Just like a cheeseburger or a regular burger, but instead of ground beef, we're using lamb, and it's gonna be like more sophisticated Mediterranean like recipe. So like when you make chicken shawarma, and that's one of the things I love about making Mediterranean type of food because you make American burgers or anything like that, but the meat that you make like Indian food, which I just made butter chicken last week, and then I made chicken shawarma before. I love making international just because the way it's seasoned. You season something, it tastes so much better actually, and that's why I love making like international. So it's really cool. So yeah, and then cumin, and then coriander, gram masala, and I found that out. That's a lot of base for a lot of seasonings for a lot of meat that you would make with international Indian or chicken shawarma or things of that nature. So yeah. Anyway, so we're making, but right now we're making the tahini sauce. I don't know if you've heard of that. Tahini sauce is basically like the ranch of the Middle East. Sorry, I may have gone over your head. I really apologize. This camera. Sucks that I have a small kitchen. There we go. A little bit better. We're just trying to, so we're just trying to get, for tahini sauce, we, as I've said before, you just take a bunch of sesame seeds. It's very similar to a hummus. I'm sure most people have heard of hummus. It's similar to a hummus sauce that you take a bunch of sesame seeds, toast them up. You just get a good toast on them. Don't overcook them, which I've tried already. And then you take them and then you mash them up in a blender, preferably. And then, you add olive oil, and that's pretty much your sauce. It's so simple to make. It only takes 3 ingredients. No, 2 ingredients, actually. And stick around for tomorrow. No, it's sesame seeds. I'm in America. Where are you at, Sean? Sesame seeds. This is for tahini sauce. Just trying to get a good crisp on those. I have to turn the heat up a little bit. You know, I tried it already and I had to throw up the first batch because, you know, it overcooked. So we're not going to get too much of a big sauce out of this, but we're just going to use what we have. So take a second. I'm just gonna have to turn the heat up a little bit. All right, now I'm starting to see it crisp, and it really doesn't take long for it to get to a point to where, you know, you need the golden brown. That's what we're looking for. Oh, now I'm gonna have to turn it down. You know, I first started with a higher heat and it didn't work out, but now I'm just starting with a low heat. So now we're gonna go from there. All right, I see it coming. It's coming around. Oh, I turn it down a little bit. There we go. That's what we're looking for. That's it. All right, we got a good golden brown coming. We got a good, yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Bye, nice to meet you. Right, there we go. Golden brown, that's what we're looking for. It's coming around, good. You know, it doesn't take long, like I said. All right, now that we've got a good golden brown coming on our sesame seeds, we're going to take that and transfer it into a bowl. So let me grab my bowl real quick. All right, there we go. Whoop. Not what I meant to do, but oh well. All right, probably gonna have to do this over the sink. Give me a moment. Turn that off real quick. Sorry, I spilled some I wasn't supposed to, but I will get that. I'll take care of that in a second. So, and I've transferred it to a bowl. Now, you're supposed to mash it up mostly in a food processor, but I'm going to try and see if I can mash it up in here in a bowl. That's probably not the traditional right way to do it, but we're going to try and see what we got. So, I mean, the secret to, you know, tahini sauce, from my understanding, is, you know, when you toast it, it releases that flavor, and that's what you're looking for. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to add some olive oil, and those are the two ingredients that you need, sesame seeds and olive oil, and you mash them up after you toast them. Right, so let's add some olive oil to that. There we go. You just mash them up until you get the right consistency you're looking for, like a sauce. I mean, if this takes too long, I probably will put it in a processor, but yeah, we'll see. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right. I plan on going to school next year for chef school next year. There's actually a college or a trade school actually down the street that I really wanted to go to and that I wanted to go to last year, but something came up and I couldn't do it. So next year, that's what I actually plan on doing. So yeah, thank you very much for the support and the encouragement. I really appreciate that. All right, give me a moment. All right. So, we got our sauce going over there. Actually, it's coming along okay. We got a good pace going on, but that's going to take a minute. So, while that sits, I'm going to start on the burgers here. All right, so just give me a moment. I'm going to wipe my area a little bit. It's a little dirty. I spilled some sesame seeds, which I wasn't supposed to do. There we go. Sorry, I just hate working in a dirty area. I mean, being a cook, you get to a point where it's like, doing dishes is a big part of being a cook. You have to actually, you know, embrace that. There's a cleanup behind it. A lot of people, well, a lot of people don't like to cook just because there's a lot of cleanup behind it. But you have to, as a cook, you learn to embrace that actually. So yeah, now it's becoming a pet peeve. I have to work in a clean area. Probably be a famous chef. Oh, right. I hope so someday. That is the goal. Oop. There we go. All right. Now, let me grab some butter and we're going to add it to our pan. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, let me grab another spatula. All right, there we go. Now we're about to add our patties to the pan right here. After we got some butter added to this pan, now we're gonna add our patties to the pan. Whoop. One. I'll turn up the heat a little bit here. I love to cook. I love to cook for people. I love to cook for anyone. Yeah, I mean, I just love cooking. I love cooking for people. I love cooking for myself. I love everything about it. Oh, I cook for my roommates all the time. You know, I cook for anybody. I love, you know, the critiques. I love, you know, somebody who rates my food or something like that. Yeah, I just love, you know, cooking. I love cooking in general. Yeah, I mean, for people, for myself, for anybody. Yeah, I would definitely cook for anybody that's willing to try my food. Yeah. That's part of being a chef. You actually, you know, food brings people together, and that's what you do when you cook and you are a regular cook. So yeah. Oh, it's smelling so good so far. One thing I forgot to add, and let me add some salt and pepper to that. And pepper, just a taste. Oh, thank you so much. I hope it is. We'll see. We gotta get heat on that, so maybe it's time to flip. Oops, not yet. Close, but yeah. Smelling good. Smelling beautiful. I'm not a cook at all. I used to be that person too when I was in college. That's all I ate. Ramen noodle. I call it ramen. Because every college kid loves ramen noodles. Alright, about time to flip. I'm going to give it a flip. And so for this, since this is a fancier meat and we're using lamb, the cheese we're going to use is feta cheese. So feta cheese right here. And, you know, it's very difficult, but when you make feta cheese, it crumbles up. It's a crumbly cheese, so that's what it's meant to be. You know, it's usually used for shawarma or gyros, whatever you call them. But I like mine sliced, but, you know, this works. So I just wanted to be as fancy as I could be, so we're using feta cheese to top this off with. Beautiful. Alright, let's give those another flip. Oh, I can imagine Pakistani food. It sounds really good. I love making international. So now these shrunk a little bit, and we have a little bit more room in our pan. We're going to add our other 2 patties. Number 2. Really? Yeah, a lot of meats, especially chicken, it doesn't really take that long once you have a good heat, and it's about knowing your oven too, knowing your pan. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I cook chicken, you know, it's always cooked more than I want it to be. So, but like chicken is one of those things that you can't eat raw. So yeah, you want to make sure that you have a good cook on it. So it took me a little bit to understand how to cook chicken and how long it takes and the right type of temperature to have your pan on. So yeah, no, it's understandable. The right type of heat for that. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. Alright, so these are probably just about done. So we're going to take them and move them off to a plate. Oh, we got that good juice coming out. Oh well, that might need a little bit longer. This one's definitely done. If you have a channel and you have a Pakistani dish, I'd definitely love to try it. I love trying new recipes. Alright, take that one off. My spatula. about that, guys. Tripped over the cord, the phone fell. We're good now. Alright, so now, unfortunately I'm faced with a dilemma. You know, my phone is not as charged as it should be. It's really low, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you a taste test right now and share with you guys my thoughts and my ratings on the dish that I made. And we're going to add some feta cheese to that lamb burger right there. I mean, a lot of times, you know, you can use a red onion, and this is what I was actually supposed to use to actually mix it with the seasoning. But, you know, I don't really like red onions that much, you know, only when I'm making gyros or gyros. That's when I make them. I like using them. So I use a shallot instead to actually with the ground beef prep here, the lamb prep. So anyway, so there we go. We got our lamb burger right there with our feta cheese. And then, you know, you can add whatever toppings you want. Onion and tomato, but we don't really have time for that today. So yeah. I'm alive. Sorry. Oh, let me add some more cheese to that. Sorry, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you to finish my tahini sauce today, so my phone is almost dead, so I'm just going to do a taste test right now. All right, lamb burgers. Give me a taste test and give me my thoughts and my ratings. That's a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. It's a little different. I mean, I love lamb. My mom makes it every Easter, you know. But I mean, I will be honest with you though. It's not. I mean, I like it by itself, and I like it on kebabs, and I like it with gyros or gyros. But I mean, as a burger, not my favorite. But you know, no, it's still really good though. I mean, it's just such a fancy kind of meat that, you know, making it with an everyday burger, it's not, I don't think it's the best, but yeah, it's still really, really good though. Other than that, the seasoning and the cheese go really, really well together. We have some really great chemistry with these lamb patties though. Really great chemistry. Oh my gosh. But that's still a 5-star meal. I mean, that's still a 5-star burger patty. Lamb burgers, success. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to like and follow. This is 5 stars all day. Bye. Happy cooking, everyone.